for joining me in my studio. I'm Anne Butera, and today is a very dreary day. I wasn't even sure if I should film today because of how dark things are, but if I didn't do it today, it wasn't gonna happen, and it's already been a couple of weeks since I've checked in here with you. I don't know about you, but the last few months have been a bit of a challenge, and I've struggled with anxiety and negative feelings. I've been feeling a bit of depression, and although there's nothing really wrong and my life is fine, I'm fine, it still can be hard. I know part of it is winter, and I often feel like this during the winter, especially as winter transitions into spring, and it seems like winter is not going to let go and spring will never truly arrive. I've been working at coming back to a practice that helped me through some very difficult times. I often call that joy collecting. It's basically keeping gratitude lists, paying attention to the present moment and all the beauties that constantly surround us. The practice of writing joy and gratitude lists is so important to me that over the years I've created printable lists as gifts for my blog and newsletter readers. Now they're available in a free resource library on my website, and you can download and print them as inspiration for keeping your own lists. I thought I would share today some of what I've been noticing and how I've been working at changing my perceptions. So much of this comes down to simply being aware, being present, paying attention, and taking the time to truly see. You need to slow down and open all of your senses. And yes, definitely enjoy those small things. I found that when I'm open to it, I see so much beauty. It's easy to get lost in the day-to-day, but when I'm open, simply stepping into my studio brings a leap of joy, and small tasks like adding newly arrived back-ordered paint colors to my palette takes on an air of celebration. And I'm realizing this is how I want to live, with a sense of openness and wonder. I want to live with gratitude for even the simplest things, and I want to see beauty and feel joy. Art supplies, paint, color, they bring me such joy. And it's paint and color that's at the heart of any art. Coming back to the simplicity of color, the building blocks of art making, is a perfect way to reset, a perfect way to shift perspective, and to jar me from negative thinking. I can't help but feel a leap of inspiration when my brush touches paint and paint touches paper. If you're struggling too, it may help to go back to the beginning, to go back to simple building blocks of whatever it is that brings you joy. Sometimes I need to get out of my routines and habits, go somewhere different, try something new. Other days I can discover joy right where I am, right here, right now. Remembering again that beauty surrounds me, always. It's not easy, and sometimes I need reminders. Books, often unexpectedly, jar me back into the right state of mind. Like when, at the end of a Louise Penny mystery, I read this. You ask what I count each evening and each morning. What I counted each day in prison while better men withered and died. Do you know the sums that I do? Gamache stood still, in case moving would scare this man off, and he'd never have his answer. But he knew he needn't worry. This man was afraid of nothing. I count my blessings. He turned and saw Irene on the terrace, as though he'd sensed her there. We're all blessed, and we're all blighted, Chief Inspector, said Finney. Every day, each of us does our sums. The question is, what do we count? What do I pay attention to? Do I let frustration and anger color my days? Or do I shift my focus and see beauty, joy, love. Color swatching always brings me joy, whether it's trying out new colors, creating color mixes, or just playing with paint. Every time I sit down like this, I remember again how much I love it. Is there a practice like this that brings you joy? Is there something you do that never fails to lift your mood? We don't always make time for things like this. I know at least I don't, but I'm trying not to let myself forget. I'm trying to fit joyful practices into my every day. I'm also trying to truly savor what brings me joy, to take my time, like the way I've been savoring planning for my garden, gathering my seeds, imagining what I'll grow, arranging and organizing and dreaming. I don't want to rush. I don't want to miss the little things, little beauties and joys. I want to savor and celebrate, and I invite you to savor and celebrate too. Even when it doesn't feel like there's anything to savor or to celebrate, pay attention and you might be surprised at what you discover. For me, I'm reminded again and again by Clara and Fiona how important it is to slow down, to pay attention, to observe. Dogs are such good teachers. They're always watching, always using all of their senses. They teach me to be present and to see the world with fresh eyes. They also teach me to take time for fun, which I'm sad to say is something that I don't always do. I can be so serious, and I'm realizing I need to let go and loosen up and lighten up. Again, dogs are such good teachers. I'm always learning, always starting over, always trying again. And I'm grateful for reminders in whatever form they show up, because it seems I need them again and again. And so when I write my joy lists, I include my girls, because they bring me joy and because they remind me to look for it and to create it too. A long-held dream of mine was to create a book-length guided journal in addition to the shorter printable lists I mentioned earlier. Last year, this dream became a reality. My book is illustrated with my art, is arranged seasonally, and leaves plenty of room for your own joy lists or sketches or other little bits of joy. I love how the book turned out. Seeing pages of my art fills me with joy. Of course, you know how much I love books. Recently, I've been devouring gardening books, dreaming and planning. I can step out of these cold days when I open a book. I'm transported to summer, and I remember what it's like to be surrounded by flowers and the sound of bees, to catch the glimmer of butterfly wings out of the corner of my eye. But until then, I have my houseplants. It is such a joy to discover a newly opened flower, like on this goldfish plant. Few flowers are as fun as this. And what a joy to see my Thanksgiving cactus blooming again. To notice these close-at-hand beauties that are so easy to overlook, but also, when I'm paying attention, so easy to see. But it's not just flowers that bring me joy. Remember my fiddle leaf fig cuttings? Their roots are now magnificent. The cuttings are just about ready for me to plant. And the new growth from where I trimmed the mother plant? Gorgeous, so full of joy. As are the beginnings of this year's garden. My tiny seedlings starting to make their way in the world. Under grow lights for now, but no less joyful. Joy can be close at hand. My sweet kitty snuggling on my lap. Pages of color in my sketchbook. I need to remind myself to pay attention to these little things, these little beauties, these little bits of joy in my own backyard. Because they're always here. There's always something to notice, something to discover, something to celebrate and to savor. I'm remembering too how important it is to go out and do things. I recently took some time off, and Matthias and I visited some museums. I vowed to make time in my week for artist dates, but I just don't get to it. Why is it so hard to do? But as I said, I can begin again. I always have the chance for a fresh start. And with this fresh start, I'm remembering how important it is to visit museums and greenhouses, doing anything out of the ordinary, even just taking a drive. One day recently, I stopped over at my parents' house to take care of their cats and chickens. Spending time out of town filled me up, and I made a point to play a bit, to listen to the red-winged blackbirds, newly arrived after their spring migration, to give myself a fresh perspective, enjoy the blue sky from a different point of view. When's the last time I did something like this? I can't even remember. And so, hello, April. Thank you for giving me a chance to start again. I'm grateful for my challenges and my struggles too, because they help me to remember how important it is to shift my focus. I'm a work in progress, and I'm trying to enjoy my small successes, these new paintings inspired by what I'm seeing now. Simple things, little things show up on my joy lists, always. I hope they show up on yours too. If there's one shift I can make, it's to return to these two words. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I remind myself again and again to come back to gratitude. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I hope that you are noticing lots of glimmers of beauty and joy in your everyday. I'll see you next time.